Okay, so my name is Maja Zonjic. I'm originally from Croatia, and I've lived there for 13 years. And then I moved to Canada in 1999, and I've been living there ever since. The first time I came to Honduras was maybe about 7 years ago. And I came pretty much just like everybody else. I came as a backpacker. I did my open water diver certification, and then I went to go do some fun dives. And that was the first time I was there. So after I came to Utila, with the background that I have of sort of having lived in a developing country, and you know, you get off the ferry and everything it's really beautiful, and people are really friendly, and there's a culture that is really rich, and you know, the climate it's nice. I mean, once you get past the sandflies, but and you know, everything was really pristine, and it kind of seemed like it was this really wonderful place, and I know from experience that a lot of times places, just because they seem like they're perfect doesn't necessarily mean that they are, right? And so you look at all the tourism representation of Utila, you look at postcards, and you look at tourist guidebooks, and you look at, you know, different media that is sort of produced, right? And a lot of it is not necessarily 100% accurate of the country, and I was wondering whether or not that was really the case too, right? So what I did is, it was my last day there, and I was talking to a guy who was working for an NGO at the time. And I asked him, I said, you know, there has to be something else here, because, I mean, I'm from Croatia, and people have this idea about Croatia as being this beautiful tropical paradise. You know, it's a diver's paradise. Everybody comes there, they love the palm trees, and they always tell you they want to live there, but they don't really know a lot about, you know, the corruption or the poverty of the people or the environmental problems. And that was sort of like what I was really interested in, because it just seemed like that was part of the story that was not being told. So when I started my MFA program for documentary media at Ryerson University in Canada, I sort of wanted to pursue the story further, and I wanted to see where I could take it. And that's when I proposed a project, and it passed through, and I went back to the island, and I just sort of started working on the project. Right, so Postales from Utila. So it looks at the way that the environmental issues in Utila are being exacerbated by tourism overdevelopment. And so with that, what we're doing is we're really focusing, and when I say we, I mean the entire sort of crew and photo project and the film. We're really focusing on trying to ameliorate some of the issues that are happening on the island, and recognize that, you know, these issues are not endemic to Utila. They're happening pretty much in all the islands around the world that are dependent on coastal tourism, in the sense that tourism is not necessarily a dependable economy, because once it fails, and then everybody else that sort of whose livelihood depends on it, they have to find another way of living, right? I was interviewing this lady, and she worked for, her name is Christy, and she worked for Rata Marine Park. And I believe she still does. And she said, you know, all this discussion about it's them, no it's us, no it's them, no it's us. And you have a lot of that in Utila. You have a lot of scapegoating, and you have a lot of people that are saying, no, it's the Spanish migrants that are doing the problems. And then you have other people saying, no, it's the tourists because, you know, they don't watch where they travel, and they're tossing garbage everywhere. And then someone else says, well, the Utilians are, you know, this and that. And the thing is, everybody really needs to work together, right? Because it's such a small island. It's like less than 44 square kilometers, and everybody impacts everybody. So whether you're tourist, whether you're local, whether you're there for a day, or whether you've been living there for, you know, 70 years. And so I think the message that she left me with was one of unity, in the sense that everybody impacts everybody, you know, and everybody's equally important, and it kind of has to start with you, right?